Skin health is a biomarker of good health. And when our patients come to see me, they want to look and they want to feel comfortable in the skin that they're in. When we look at what is in skin, we look at collagen, we look at elastin, we look at hyaluronic acid. We need topicals and we need ingredients that are going to feed the growth and development and the sustenance of all of these key building blocks within the skin. Furthering on to the skin, we also look at the health and wellness of the rest of us, from our scalp health to our hair health to our nails, our gut and our bones and our joints and other key areas that we consider as part of our aging process. And we want to focus some attention to all of these things as we continue to age and as we want to experience a better quality of life in our lifespan. So my next speaker is Anita Eyles. I've had the pleasure of knowing Anita for a few years now, and she's the creator of the nutraceutical drink that we have at S-Thetics called Totally Derma. I hope that you enjoy my conversation with Anita as she delves into the world of nutraceuticals and how we use Totally Derma within our treatment portfolio at S-Thetics to achieve and to deliver better quality skin, gut, nail, scalp, everything health to our patients. Anita, how are you?
Very well, thanks. Thank you so much for having me today, Sharina. It's so lovely to see your shiny, gorgeous face.
Shiny, gorgeous, glowing face, I hope.
Glowing face, that's what I mean, as in shiny, happy people.
Thank you very much. I think part of the reason I'm glowing is because I have this wonderful opportunity to link up with you, in this way. So thank you so much for being part of this virtual patient education event that I'm hosting once again this year, Anita. I'm so excited that we get to do this, and I really appreciate your time as well in being a part of this.
Thank you. Thanks so much for inviting me, Sharina.
Well, as you know, Anita, year on year at the practice, I have always put patient education at the heart of what we offer. And every year we've held these patient education events in a micro and then a macro way. So you have been part of two of our former events. Christmas 2018, live at the clinic when we first launched Totally Derma, your product at S-Thetics, and then following on to last year's Beyond the Facelift at Head Sore House, where you were part of what we wanted to achieve, which was to translate the science to our patients so that they have a deeper and better understanding of all of the treatments that we offer at the clinic. And that was a wonderful event because you were part of that, with Totally Derma being at the core of pretty much every treatment that we offer as well, to boost results, to enhance results. But this year, what I wanted to do was to take it beyond that. I wanted to take it beyond aesthetics. So aesthetics refers to how patients may look from the outside and then the outside in, inside out. But this year was all about translating it into the emotional attributes. It's how we feel and it's how we connect with ourselves that represents how we portray ourselves to the external world. And your treatment definitely comes at the core of that as well, because it's all about the immune system, more so at this time, right? And it's all about beyond just the skin, because your product offers so much more than that. And what I wanted to do was to take it beyond the product itself, for our patients to really have a deeper understanding, to the teams that I work with that deliver the education to us and then ultimately to the end user, which is the patient. So Anita, with that in mind, welcome to Beyond Aesthetics 2020 with us.
Thank you, Sharina. I'm really sorry that you weren't able to have your event live at Head Sore House, which was absolutely incredible last year. It was such an amazing educational event for all of your patients and all of the brands that represent you and are in partnership with you. So yeah, so I think what you're doing now, doing a virtual event, is really progressive, and just it's a sign of our times at the moment, isn't it?
Yes, it really, really is. And, but we have the opportunity. So I always say to see the silver lining in every situation. And now we get to Zoom boom together, which is fantastic. Yeah. So with that in mind, Anita, I would love for you to share with our patients who you are. Tell us a bit about you, how you came into the aesthetic space, what was your former background, and where we are now. Thank you.
Thank you. I have got a business background, and my passion has always been health and well-being. And I ran a distribution supplements company for the last 10 years. And it was just really by accident when I was actually taking a supplement. I was doing a lot of running back then. And I was having a few aches and pains here and there. And I was taking a very, very specific amino acid peptide powder. It's called Arthred. It's a patented powder. And I really, really noticed the great benefits it was having on my joints. And I just got that light bulb moment to translate the musculoskeletal benefits of this product that was doing miraculous things to the medical aesthetic market. So the clinical trials showed that it was rebuilding cartilage and joints, but I knew that it was doing great things to my hair and my skin and my nails. So I worked, I'm not a formulator, but I worked with the key formulators in the US, and we came up with we designed actually a supplement that was going to reduce inflammation, not just in the body, but reduce inflammation in the skin. And that's what we're all trying to do, right? Anti-aging is all about reducing inflammation. So we created the product using very, very unique ingredients in therapeutic dosages. And now we have the product today. It's called Totally Derma. So it does contain the Arthred, but it contains high dose bioavailable hyaluronic acid, as well as 5 powerful, really key antioxidants. So it's not just an aesthetic product anymore. It's a physiological well-being product.
Wonderful. You know, that makes a lot of sense to me, because you've taken something that you've used yourself. You told me the amino acids for a specific function for you as an athlete, a runner, to help stabilize your cartilage, your joints and your bones, your musculoskeletal.
Yeah.
And as a result of taking something from a functional element, you noticed an aesthetic benefit.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah.
A lot of our treatments have actually evolved that way. So bearing in mind, you knew that Arthred, that amino acid, was responsible for that, but you wanted to evolve it into a different space as well.
Yes.
Tell me how that process happens, and how long does it take to create something like this?
Well, so we because it reduces inflammation, it's great for skin health, and it's joint health. But you know, everything we do starts with the gut, right? And it's all about gut health. So we noticed when we were getting into the B2B space, so we only sell to medical aesthetic clinics, that some, anecdotally, because we couldn't really test for this, but we were having some wonderful results from people who were suffering from cystic acne and rosacea and eczema. And obviously that is a hormonal issue normally, but in some cases it's not. Some cases it's gut related. So if you can heal and seal the gut lining, the gastrointestinal tract, and form connective tissue and stop things like leaky gut, it's going to help with external skin conditions. We also noticed that patients who were going sort of perimenopausal, menopausal, who are suffering from very, dry, lax, dehydrated skin, the first thing that people do notice when they're on Totally Derma is the hydration. It doesn't take more than 2 to 3 weeks to start to see and feel the hydration. So that is a really positive thing. This is a 1 month supply, and it's nice to know that in 30 days you're going to already see and feel some great benefits. And other side effects like the aching joints, etc. But there are some other even lesser, less enamored side effects to menopause that Totally Derma can really address. And so it's just become this health, well-being, skin health, hair, nails. And if you look at the whole body, collagen is not selective. It goes everywhere it wants to go, as long as it's bioavailable. Yes. So I could get into the sort of science of how it works very quickly. As long as it's an amino acid peptide that is pre-digested. And by that, I mean it bypasses the gut. So one doesn't require the digestive enzymes to break it down. So it can go straight to the small intestine, where it's then delivered systemically via the blood vessels everywhere it needs to go. So it does take about 6 to 12 weeks. It's a long-term skin investment. It's a long-term body investment, but it's a wonderful complement for some of your more invasive clinical procedures.
Thank you so much for sharing the intricacies of the product itself. And when you talk about, you covered a number of things, but obviously when you consume it, when you drink it, it goes straight to the gut. So that is point number one, because that is a point of entry. And if we don't get the point of entry right, then we don't get to the end target, your hair,
No.
your joints, all of that. So
Yes.
tell us about that first step, Anita, is bioavailability through the gut. Is that the hydrolyze? Is that the hydrolyze component of it?
Yes, exactly. So this particular R-thread amino acid peptide is animal derived, all right? So it's coming from bovine.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's incredible how it starts its journey from start to finish. It's extracted from the hide of a cow. And that gelatin, which we have in jelly babies, we have it in our foods. Yes. It's not a digestible. It's not something that is going to be getting into crossing the blood barrier. But when you enzymatically hydrolyze a gelatin to become a very, very tiny molecular weight, size, and structure molecule, that is the key component to extracting type 1, type 2, and type 3 collagen. So it's not just for tendons and ligaments and cartilage, it's also for skin, hair, nails, gut, bones, you name it. So I think every woman over the age of 35 should be on this product. As I said before, it's a long-term skin investment. And I think adding the cofactors that we added to it has made it a totally different animal for skin. And you know, you talk about USPs in a product. Well, our unique product selling point is that we do have what's called patented Aneva Derma hyaluronic acid. And this is what sort of differentiates it from any other supplement on the market. That and the 5 powerful antioxidants, again, and very importantly in therapeutic dosages. So you can have a lot of different elements that are put into a specific collagen supplement. But if it's not a cofactor that is going to synthesize more collagen and elastin and hyaluronic acid, there isn't really much point in putting in a lesser amount. So it is really important to look at a label when you're looking at supplements. And yeah, it's something that you need to investigate.
Absolutely. And I like that point you make about the cofactors complementing other things to play in the sandpit successfully, effectively, yes, without any negative effects as well.
Yes.
So you've taken the R-thread, and instead of having, you know, back in the days where I remember when we were growing up, we used to have one pill for this and one for this and one for this. Next thing you know, we've got this whole bag of things to take.
Yes.
Here I feel, you know, when I'm looking for a product to bring into our practice, I have to do my own research about the different brands, about the different clinical data. I need to have robust clinical data, scientific evidence, as opposed to having something because it's nice. And this gave me that, because it was one thing that someone could take, and I'm a girl with no time for time as well.
No, exactly.
I have to be fast and furious in what I take, and I want it to be nice and pleasurable and get to the target. So you talk about the other cofactors. So Aneva Derma being one of them,
yeah,
which is your hyaluronic acid. And for me, that was a key USP, because it's very rare to get 10,000 milligrams of hyaluronic acid playing in the right sandpit with the R-thread.
Yes. Well, the 10,000 milligrams is the amino acid peptide powder R-thread, and then it's 210 milligrams of the hyaluronic acid. And again, that's got to be bioavailable, right? That's got to be a really tiny molecule to be able to be absorbed. And as you know, Sharina, when you consume collagen, you're going to proliferate hyaluronic acid in the body anyway. But when you add hyaluronic acid to your component, to your totality of your formulation, you're going to have sort of more of a double ratio of collagen to HA going round and round. And as that cycle just perpetuates, you know, the longer you take it, the hydration, the density, the elasticity, the plumpness in the skin, it's all going to show because of that added HA. But also, you know, we put in high dose L-ascorbic vitamin C, which we all love topically, fantastic. But when you ingest that as a cofactor, it's going to synthesize more collagen. We've put copper in there as an added component as well as a mineral. But we have things like alpha lipoic acid, a really great scavenger, wonderful free radical. We also have a green tea extract, which reduces inflammation. We have put in grapeseed extract, which is a wonderful cofactor for anybody who's in the menopause and suffering from night sweats and that sort of thing. We've done clinical trials where you see that people that are on about between 100 and 200 milligrams of grapeseed extract had wonderful reduction in terms of their anxiety, their depression, their hot sweats, etc., some of their menopausal symptoms. And we put 160 milligrams in there. So we know that it's backed up by the science, it's backed up by the clinical papers. So that's why it's not just about skin. It's become this completely wonderful physiological and aesthetic well-being product. And it's evolved slowly like that, you know. It's just been very organic. We've depended on people coming back to us and telling us their feedback on how long they've taken it and what benefit they felt. And it's not, I can't say it's changing people's lives, but once you're on something like this, and you wake up in the morning and you don't feel that ache and pain, if you're a big runner, you go a big gym goer, particularly all of us doing our YouTube videos and yogas and everything else, it's a really lovely supplement to be taking every day.
Well, look, you know, Anita, I have been taking your supplement conscientiously since, well, 2 years ago when we brought it into the practice. And, you know, at the start of the year, we had our up and down days because of everything that was going on. So it took us all up, shall we say. And during the first lockdown, again, I went back because I had the time and the space to take it absolutely ritualistically every single night. And I slept well. I slept well because I had my LED treatments on me at the same time. And I felt
yes.
the whole process became just embedded into my life once again. So I had the opportunity to reset. And now it still is, you know, I have
yes.
it right here, and I have it at strategic time. And because I know it's going to complement my Saluma light therapy, which I had last night. And when I wake up in the morning, I feel reset again. And
yes.
we talked about the anti-inflammatories with it, and you know my practice, you know how much I spend in that space. We appreciate that we are one big walking inflammation, really. Every single day we're bombarded with these external stressors, and when we age, you know, 65% of our external influence or aging is due to external influences. So, you know, the anti-inflammatory within it was another key USP that I was very drawn to.
Yes, absolutely. It is really key. And it's you know, you talk about sleep. There are some very specific amino acids in there that are wonderful, like glycine and lysine for sleep. They are a contributor for sleep. So the longer you take it and it is circulating around your bloodstream, it's a big conductor for sleep, actually, which is obviously another a side effect of some of women who suffer from insomnia, poor sleep when they're just going into that sort of post-menopause. But it also is a wonderful product to support your clinic treatment. So you have your incredible, people want the fast fix, they want their injectable. You look at your patient, every patient is unique, and you have treatment protocols which integrate your injectables, your high-tech energy devices, and then you have your prescriptive strength topicals. So that is a wonderful unity of anti-aging, everything to throw the kitchen sink at anti-aging. But I think introducing an ingestible, an evidence-based nutraceutical is a really lovely holistic way of ensuring that we're doing all we can to build collagen, elastin, and HA, but in a a much longer term investment for life, really. And it complements, it really complements everything that you're doing in your clinic for your patients.
It most certainly does. And we have a cohort of a large cohort of patients that take this religiously. Every single day, they invest in, treatments that last them 90 days. And I believe in that 90-day magic number, because even with treatments like frequency, it takes time to build collagen. And not only just building a collagen cell, it's an immature cell. It still needs time to grow up and mature. That's when we see the fruits of our labor, the results of the investment, similar to my garden outside. It takes time to invest and get the result. And my garden looks better now than it did 5 years ago. So this is how I see our patient results. And when I see their results this time compared to last year, 1 year later, on the patients taking TD, complementing with our treatments, their visual results look completely different.
Yes, well, we did clinical trials. We did non-invasive skin analysis, Visia analysis, over a 10-week period.
Okay.
And we had some really significant results with wrinkles around the eyes, periocular, as well as the mouth to nose lines, the nose to mouth lines. And it was astounding. These women were selected purposely who had never had any injectables before. They were all on the same topical regime. And we wanted to see categorically if there was going to be a difference, because there are a lot of skeptics out there. They, arthritis does have its history and its medical heritage in osteoarthritis, but how was it reaching the skin? So we went a step further, not just doing the Visia skin analysis. We also did invasive skin, we did a skin study. It was small, 6 women between the ages of 46 and 65. We did this 4 years ago, and we presented the results at FACE conference. And these women were on it, and they were hip biopsies. We were doing skin biopsies and blood serums. And in every case, the elasticity, the collagen, and the HA was increased in every subject, whether they were 46 or 65. And in any of the subjects who were having those aches and pains in terms of joints, it really did alleviate that as well. And once they went off it, literally just a week later, those pains came back. Wow. So we saw, the histology of these reports came back, and they were definitive. So we, the clinical data the interim data was presented at FACE conference, but it would have been nice if we had maybe had sort of more than 3 months, a 6-month trial, and then you can get something published in a peer-reviewed publication. But it was enough to know that we have a product that is evidence-based and doing what it says on the tin.
Well, this is the point. You started it. You started that journey of discovery, taking skin samples and biopsy and histology is taking it that step further in providing evidence-based medicine to ourselves, the doctors and the clinics that you are investing in, and finally the end user, which is the patient. And I think our patients want to know that. I know for a fact that we'll have a few ladies, patients of mine, in their 60s and 70s who are taking the product, who will be watching this today. And I know they've got better quality skin than they did 5 years ago, because it's complementing all the treatments that they're having. I look at your skin, and on that note, I want to wish you a very happy birthday.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Sharina.
Your skin is magnificent.
Well, it's funny. I'm a certain age, and I really started to invest heavily in my skincare, prescriptive-wise, I would say about 15 years ago. And I imbibed in an injectable. And your Endimed, for instance, I'm a huge, huge fan of Endimed. I'm a huge fan in skin tightening technology. I 1,000,000% know it works. And I think it's just a wonderful complement. And it's just everything in moderation.
Yes.
Less is more. And, you know, all of these Zoom meetings we've all been having, you know, the whole tech neck and everything else, and everybody's being a lot more critical. But on that note, I think in aesthetics in general, I think it's becoming so much more widely accepted. I think the taboo is, the veil is being lifted. People are becoming much more curious about all these treatments, and it doesn't have that stigma that it used to have. And I think that's a really good thing. You know, it's really important. And I think as we go through this pandemic as well, I think people are becoming much more aware of their general health and well-being as well. And supplements become a part of that. You know, nutrition is hugely important, but some things you just cannot obtain from your food, in particular collagen. And as we age, in the first 5 years of menopause, you're losing 30% of your collagen. That's huge. You know, only 1% drops off after the age of 26. So youth is wasted on the young, as they always say. And, you know, when you're lying on a beach and you're not putting your SPF on and you think you're going to live forever, and all of a sudden 20 years later, you've got all this pigmentation and elasticity and is dropping, etc. All of this stuff is really important. And yeah, so that's, yeah.
I completely agree. This whole year has taught so much, and with seeing a lot of patients over Zoom consultations, Anita, I can see a change in how patients presented back in March, April, and May. And now, 8 months down the line,
yes,
multiple Zooms throughout the day, actually busier than ever, some patients, and getting more tired, and patients wanting to look at investing in themselves, you know, first and foremost as they embark into 2021. It's the time certainly to reflect, and a lot of patients have been, including myself, to reset, reimagine how we're going to design our own years ahead.
Yeah.
For business, for work, for pleasure, for personal, which brings us into the next topic, which is self-care. And all of the treatments, technologies that we have, well, most of them now we can, you know, advise our patients to use at home as well, for full body, full family, you know, very much like a Mycaluma device as well. Topical Derma certainly plays a very key part in that. What are your thoughts on self-care as we head into 2021?
You know, self-care, I think this whole pandemic has made us all really assess our health. As I said, we to decide where we're going to go in life, and press that reset button. I think people are going to take much more heed of good, nutritious food. I think people are starting to think about the importance of sleep, good sleep, and exercise. I think people are, you know, are thinking, I'm going to take that break. I'm going to take that walk. I'm going to do that yoga class. Or I'm going to do that Pilates or HIIT class. Life is too short, and I think self-care is huge. And with this whole underlying element of anxiety that we're all suffering from, I think it's just nice to sit back, put your little priorities in order. And that's, I mean, I certainly have, and that's the way I'm going to live, you know, going into 2021. I'm going to look after myself more. I'm going to take more breaks, smell the roses, and take that lovely luxurious bath with my candles. And yeah, absolutely. And I think everybody should do that as well, because you only have one life, you only have one you, you know, so make it your best life.
Well, I think that completely wraps this up, you know, ending with a message of positivity and gratitude. I think you've done exactly that, Anita. So, and a final message to our audience, our patients out there, before we wrap up our session today.
Well, just look after you and do whatever you feel is going to benefit you, and love yourself. Just be good to yourself, be kind to yourself, and take Totally Derma. No,
I kickstart, well, actually, I kickstart my nighttime routines with my Totally Derma because I believe that, well, I understand, not believe, I understand that my collagen is going to be at its finest boost for reproducing itself when I am rejuvenating and relaxing. But this time I'm going to break the rule a little bit and have mine in the daytime.
Oh, okay. Yes. The one tip about that, if you want to know, the best way to take Totally Derma is, so this is just a glass of water. If I put in a scoop right now, it might be a little bit lumpy. So the mixing tip is always powder first, liquid later. And you can put this in water, in juice, in a smoothie. And we're actually coming out with a sugar-free version, which is going to be lovely. So all of you dermatologists and dentists out there, this is for you. You know, all of the whole glycation is not a vacation type of thing. We don't want that. This is going to have xylitol in it. And xylitol is a great probiotic. So just on its own is going to be a wonderful collagen element to produce even more collagen. So it's 1 scoop, and this is the equivalent of 27 capsules. So you were saying, Sharina, you don't like to be taking millions and zillions of supplements.
Yes.
We don't have the time, we don't have the energy, and certainly we don't have the palate to be able to consume 27 capsules. So that's the beauty of Totally Derma. It's 1 scoop a day, preferably at night when our fibroblasts, the cells responsible for producing collagen, are busiest. And but if it's a morning routine that you like and you want to do it and mix it up in your smoothie after your workout, perfect, have it that way.
Well, you know, I normally have it at nighttime in my martini glass, shaken not stir. So this is my daytime juice. So there we go.
Yeah.
On that note, I'd like to say a big cheers to you. Cheers,
Sharina.
Cheers to Totally Derma. Here is to many, many more, to good health. And I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for being part of my journey and for today, for all of our patients too.
Oh, thank you so much, Sharina. Thank you so much for having me. Have a lovely day.
You too, Anita.
Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye.